idea
all
of
you
the
white
war
people,
on terror.
Joe, all you white people, I can't tell you apart. You all look alike.
That's right. No, I agree, but you know how the war on terror is their ability to channel money to and from things in order to keep the oppression and keep the things going, keep all this crap going. There's no war on terror. Absolutely not. But you wouldn't believe the money that flows because of that.
Well,
look at these.
It's all bizarre, Joe.
Yeah,
you try to make sense out of some of this stuff, and you can't. When you realize that the greatest drug trafficker in the world is the CIA flying it in at our expense on military airplanes and then distributing it. My God, and the court system is just as corrupt from the top to the bottom. On and on and on and on.
Right, which brings you. You just brought up a great point, Gwen. There's a good point. There's a good point for you. Absolutely, self and family. But did you see what he said? Here it is. We have a war on drugs. Yet the CIA is the biggest drug trafficker in the world.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
So somebody's lying, aren't they?
Not only lying, but are they breaking the law?
Well, not only that, but you have to realize that the war on drugs is a twofold revenue scheme, okay?
Mm-hmm.
First, they sell the drugs on the street, and then they arrest and convict people for victimless crimes and charge them an obscene amount of fines and penalties, and not to mention tax revenue on drugs that have been illegally seized, which just are obviously recycled back into the market. But it's just like anything else.
Right. But do you see, Gwen? I mean, and if people actually took the time to see things for what they are, hell yeah, we could affect change. The problem is they don't. What do you think?
I would like to say that I think that we don't. We're looking at everything on the grand scale,
sure.
And I think we need to start narrowing it down. We need to start narrowing it down to our own homes, our own neighborhoods, our own communities, and affecting change there where we can. We need to stock food and supplies for our families and ourselves. We need to get our neighborhoods, I asked my neighbor the other day, I just said, if something happened where, there was a breakdown in essential services, what would our security perimeter be and how would we defend it?
Ooh.
You should have seen the look on the guy's face.
I don't know how many deer are in South Dakota, but I'm sure it was a deer in the headlights look.
But seriously, I mean, people just have this idea that we're going to be able to call 911. They have this idea that we're going to have food. We're going to have weather that provides the food to even buy. All these assumptions are being made when every damn thing is saying something completely different. And, I'd just like to ask Margot, from a woman's point of view, how, do you think you're viewing this and the potential outcome differently than from a male point of view as far as what we can expect to happen?
Well, I can tell you that, and I don't know if this has anything to do with me being a female or if it has to do with my spiritual standing, but I honestly believe that war is an industry for banks. If you look back at the inception of central banks in the world, you'll see that they were created as a means for anonymously shuffling money in order to purchase mercenaries in order to make war, and that's how banks have typically made their profits. And I'm extremely anti-war, and I'm extremely anti-violence. And my husband would love for me to learn how to shoot a gun and all that stuff, and I just won't have it. Because, quite frankly, if I'm got some Native American blood in me, and if I can't put something down with a bow and an arrow, I really have no interest in using a weapon like a gun, because to me it just seems so impersonal. And for me, I sit here and I think that if people would just learn to respect other people's sovereignty as a gift from our Creator, whatever your opinion of our Creator is, if people would just understand that the only real law in the universe is the law of love, and if people would just respect one another's ability to express creativity and sovereignty the way that individual sees fit, we wouldn't have any of these problems. And I have to wonder if our world would be different if it wasn't male-dominated. No offense to the men out there, but, I sometimes I wonder these things. But, at the end of the day, I don't know if this is really so much a gender problem as it is a problem of human beings not fully understanding their worth and their potential on a cosmic scale.
Do you know that women in all of history, recorded history, even on the petroglyphs around the world, there is never any indication that women have ever come together for the purpose of war. And I think you're absolutely right when you say that wars are to fatten the pockets of the bankers. But, from a woman's point of view, I do what I do because the men aren't standing up. They're not doing what they need to be doing to protect us and to ensure our safety and to ensure that our communities have what we need in them anymore. And I wonder what has happened when the roles got shifted and when that idea to me, I don't want to have to go and shoot people. Will I? You bet I will, because I don't have anyone to defend me or to take care of feeding me or whatever. So I'm in a situation where I don't have a choice. But I don't like it that I'm in that situation, and I don't think that I think that we've depended on the ballot box. I think we've depended on writing letters, signing petitions to change things, and I don't think that's where it changes. I think the paradigm shifts and the revolution starts day to day when we get up in the morning and we go out into the world. What are we doing that changes where we're at? And I don't know, maybe that's just a woman thing for me, but I just think that we need to take more personal responsibility and do things that make a change where we're at. And then if everyone was doing that, it would change. That paradigm would shift somewhere along the line where the sovereignty wouldn't even be an issue, because those people that are trying to squish the sovereignty would not have the control over us that we've given them.
Some fantastic points, Gwen. I'm thrilled that you brought that up. John King, your thoughts?
Yes, we were talking a little bit ago about the corrupt courts. Gwen, let me say this from personal experience, and Joe, chime in whenever you feel the urge. But my neighbor accused me of something that I did not do, and based solely upon his word, I was arrested by my local police department, a.k.a. the jackboot Nazis, and taken before my local dictator, a.k.a. my local magistrate, and charged just based on his word alone. I, however, had a videotape showing that my neighbor's charges that were brought against me were total BS and exonerated me. However, my local district attorney, a.k.a. jackboot Slug, would not drop the charges. And they would not actually take it to a trial because they knew that once the jury saw the tape, they could not get a conviction. So we had to basically work out a deal, which was I would plead guilty to a fourth-degree misdemeanor of public, what was it? Public. Just basically because I
like disorderly conduct, John, I think it was.
Yeah, basically disorderly conduct, and they would drop the criminal charges. They had to get their payback and their $250 in fine money and make it look good for them, and everything that they have done against me so that they didn't end up looking like the fool. But the Constitution is dead. Everything that we know of as Americans is dead. The rule of law is dead.
It's only dead because we've let it become dead, John. And that's a problem. And Gwen, you made a great point. The men of this country, and the men of the world for that matter, have sorely failed in their responsibility of doing the right thing, whether it be morally or the virtues of what is what is right and what is just. They're gone. And it's been replaced with this just perverted system, and we're all affected, men and women alike. But you're right when you say that. I mean, my wife tells me all the time about the things that I do on a daily basis that I can improve. Absolutely. I mean, I am at a loss sometimes when she points these things out because I don't think about it. Because that's the way our society's kind of become. That's what we've kind of been conditioned to be. And it's a shame. We got to break that mold.
I don't place the blame squarely on men. I think that the blame should lie on both genders, and here's why. And you can get into a long, drawn-out philosophical discussion about it, but at the end of the day, where women went wrong is when they tried to take everything. They wanted the big pictures. They wanted motherhood. They wanted marriage. They wanted everything. And, some women can handle everything. And I'm not saying this to offend everybody or anybody out there, but I honestly believe that, women you cannot escape your biology, okay? And I think women are made to nurture, and women are made to create. And we have this energy about us that is nurturing and creative and all of these things. And in trying to compete with men, we have lost sight that we are not here to compete with men. We are here to live in harmony with nature, and that means accepting our biological position in this world. And, and I say this as an attorney, okay? So I'm in a male-dominated profession. Lots of times I go to court and I'm the only female there. But the thing is, lots of women would like to escape their biology and their position as a supreme nurturer and creative force in this world. And I've come to realize that, and I'm actually saddened by it because I was even led to believe that I'm supposed to be this fierce feminine warrior of the professional world, and then I get into the professional world and I find immense unhappiness because, perhaps I have missed my potential. And, there's one quote, I think, by Confucius that sums this whole thing up perfectly, and that is, when the heart is set right, then the personal life is cultivated. When the personal life is cultivated, then the home life is regulated. When the home life is regulated, then the national life is orderly. And when the national life is orderly, the world is at peace. The problem that we have in our society today is we try to control other people without first cultivating ourselves. And that we have gotten away and are so distracted by everything that's going on around us that we do not spend the time cultivating ourselves, cultivating self-awareness, cultivating self-respect, and instead we just try to micromanage everybody else to the point where we charge people with disorderly conduct for bogus behavior or bogus crimes, to the point where we tell people that they have to wear a seatbelt, otherwise they're going to get a $30 ticket, to the point where, we sit there and tell people that you can only do a certain profession if you do X, Y, and Z first. And it's gotten to the point where it is ridiculous, and people are lost, they're confused, and they don't know who they are. And that's true for either gender.
That's so true.
I think
hold that thought, Gwen. When we come back from break, I'll get your thought. Lee, stay on the line. We'll get to your phone call when we come back. It's a fantastic